Happy Monday from Rudy Sprout Bloom Greenhouse, where it's Monday growth from the greenhouse. I am coming to you live on Mondays from the greenhouse to share the garden growth as well as life growth. So, welcome wherever you're joining in from. And Chancy's in here with me. I think you can see her on the floor there. Maybe not. I'll show you around the greenhouse and all of the growth that's happening here in a minute. In Anchorage, Alaska today, it's pouring and things are so green. Oh my gosh, they're so green. We've had the last 4 nights up here on the hill of gorgeous, gorgeous days. And then about, 6 o'clock in the evening, these huge thunderstorms roll in and lightning. Last night we had lightning, and then we get torrential downpour, and then it goes away and we have this beautiful sunset. I moved up here from Florida, so I feel like I'm living in Florida the last 4 days. I just read a news article too that said that Anchorage has only had like 66, I think it was. I might have misread it. Like 66 thunderstorms since 1960. And we've just had, they say 3, but up here on the hill we've had 4 in a row. And so today it's pouring, and I love Mondays. I don't know about you guys, but I love Mondays. I get so much done in my office, and it's super productive. And so the rain just kind of adds to it. The only bummer is I have a walk with some friends planned at 2 o'clock, rain or shine. So that's the only bummer. So I'm coming to you from the greenhouse today and every Monday to talk about growth. So I will give you a tour of all the veggies and all their growth going on here today. What I wanted to talk about was, well, first and foremost, the last couple of weeks I've had so many people ask what I do for a living and who I am, and both on social media and in person, what do I do? So I'm a business coach and consultant, and my business name is called Alaska Tracy. And basically, I work with businesses that are seeking calmness, clarity, and prosperity using my vision mapping framework. So I've got this membership. It's called Visions to Profits. It's a women's business community, and it is a membership that women buy into, and they get monthly deliverables. We have a once a week call, and every month is themed a different theme. And so this month it's themed structure. How does structure fit into growth and everything that's going on in today's world? All I can share is my experience and what I've witnessed clients that I get to work with going through when they add structure into their lives, as well as women that I interview or men that I interview for my podcast, which, by the way, is called Alaska Tracy Podcast. You can find it on iTunes. Remember to click subscribe. So I seek out people that have experience in the topics that I'm sharing with the membership. So this month it's structure. And I got to interview a couple really cool people that have shared how implementing structure has literally changed their business, their life, and everything about how they succeed in the world today. My experience with structure is when I don't have structure, so when I'm flying by the seat of my pants, which years ago, almost 20 years ago when I got into business, I thought this will be great. I'll be a business owner and I can fly by the seat of my pants. What I've realized over those 20 years is when I'm flying by the seat of my pants and I have no structure, I run around in a lot of fear. I scroll randomly on social media. I scroll randomly on news feeds, and I live in a lot of fear. When I add simple structure into my life, I grow. Hence, growth from the greenhouse on Mondays. What I mean by that is, have you ever noticed people that they seem to have a lot going on? Maybe they have a business, maybe they have two businesses, they're raising a family, they just seem to have a lot going on, and they don't give a lot of, they don't buy into those fears that the world sometimes, that the world is experiencing. They seem to be givers of society. So not only are they doing and growing businesses and growing families or growing careers, they're also taking the time to give back. And a lot of times I find those people, a lot of them I've interviewed on my podcast, I don't even know the half of what they're doing because they don't share, they don't promote, they don't talk about every single thing that they're doing or selling, or they just do. And they're living very productive lives. Well, those people have structure built into their lives, so they do things on a regular basis. They show up and they do things. So that's what I'm talking about, structure. For me, when I implement structure, like my podcast was sitting idle for 3 months. And every day I would get up and I would go, oh my God, I need to, I should be, I could be, just beating myself up. Can anybody relate to that? And welcome to everyone joining in. I see a lot of you joining in. Welcome. Please let me know where you're joining in from. And it's raining, so I'm talking really loud. It's just pouring here in the greenhouse. So my podcast was sitting idle and I was doing the shoulds in the woods and beating myself up. And then the Visions to Profits membership that I get to have, and I get to share with other amazing women. The month came up of structure, and I thought, oh my gosh, if I add structure with the podcast, I bet it will grow. So I went to a business community that I'm involved in with like 5,000 business members that are growing membership sites as well as me. And I said, hey, who has experience implementing structure into their business and their life that could come on my podcast and I could interview, and then I can share it with my Visions to Profits members as well as my podcast community. Boom. So that's structure. It's set up. Now I have interviews lined up. I did my first one last week. I've got another one coming up next week. So structure for me gives me a sense of freedom. And it allows me time to go do things that I really want to do, like grow in the greenhouse, like be with this one, Chancy, do fun things without the guilt of the shoulds and the woulds. So if I structure things throughout my day and structure working on the business instead of in the business, then I get more free time. So that's how it works for me. With more free time comes more opportunities for me to be of service to others, to learn from others, to be open-minded, and that's what I'm currently doing. I'm being of service to others, and I'm looking for opportunities to grow and expand my awareness in a lot of different areas, so that I can be a better human being, so that I can be part of the change instead of feeding into the negativeness and the fear and all the crazy stuff going on, that I can be part of the solution. So I ask you, how are you growing today? How are you adding structure into your life, into your career, into your business, so that you can be part of the change, so that you can add to instead of living in fear? That's my garden growth tip of the day. And I'm going to show you what's happening in the greenhouse. Let's see if I can do it on my tripod here. Okay, so above my head is squash, and that's a big one. I've got 4 more outside the greenhouse. And then I'll turn the camera around. Hi, Richard from Australia. I'm going to email you after this and after I do my Instagram live about exactly what I just talked about. And if you didn't hear it, hit rewatch. I talked about structure and change and growth. So we got cucumbers, lots of cucumbers. I might have to move some of them as they continue to grow. We've got Chansey on the floor. I keep a big bucket of water here. My buddy Richard, Mr. Green Jeans, told me that years ago that plants do not like cold water. So I keep water in there, and it usually warms up. Today it's only right at 60 degrees in here. It's very chilly. I've got beans growing. I was going to put them outside, and I've never had really good luck with them outside, so I thought I would try to grow them inside. And then tomatoes, and I've got 4 tomatoes coming up right there. Chancey, you're fine. And then I've got another one on this plant, and I chat with the plants, and I pollinate the plants with an eagle feather, which they are illegal to have. However, an eagle, and I don't know if it's an eagle feather or if it's a hawk feather, dropped it in our yard years ago when I got the greenhouse. So I literally cross-pollinate these guys with the feather. And it seems to really work. They like it. Yay! And then I planted parsley and basil, which I'm already using. And this is a funny thing. I stick all sorts of things that I eat, vegetables, in mud, and I think that they're going to grow. And I saw somewhere somebody took pepper seeds and they sprinkled them in pots, and the peppers grew. So I've done it with peppers because I love peppers. And look at all the babies. And I don't know how long they'll take to grow, but I've got lots and lots of peppers coming up. I gave 1 or 2 away yesterday out of this guy. I need to put more soil in there. And then this is, we went to an estate sale and I planted a flower in there. Isn't that cool? We found all this cool stuff at an estate sale. And my favorite, and those are from an estate sale too, lettuce. We eat this almost every night. It goes really good with bacon. Oh my goodness, it is so good. And I also read an article about continuing to plant lettuce so that you can have it throughout the season. So I'm planting more lettuce as we move along. And I think I'm going to try to plant lettuce in the house. Mary, if you're listening, I'm going to be contacting you about that cool thing that you have that I can grow veggies in the house with in the winter. I think Hubster agreed to it. So, and I'll share that with everyone once we get it. There, you should see where the tripod is. It's sitting here in the mud. So this is my greenhouse. It's where I get all Zen-like. It reminds me that everything in life takes work, and often really dirty work. Like I have to get my hands really dirty to help things grow. And sometimes it's really messy. Sometimes I get really frustrated in here because I don't know what I'm doing. And so I reach out for help and I ask people how they've done things that have learned before me, because I'm so imperfect, you guys. Oh my gosh, I'm so imperfect. And I'm a work in progress. And some days are going to be a little dirtier than others. And some days we're going to see growth and we're going to see beauty and we're going to experience joy. So look for those moments of joy and look for ways to grow, because with structure and growth comes the opportunity to serve and to be the change. I hope that you all got a little something out of this, and I appreciate you joining in. I see a lot of new faces. Welcome. Thank you for being a part of my community. I'm Tracy Rush Williams, owner of Alaska Tracy. A lot of people see me post a lot of cool Alaska stuff, and they don't even know what I do. They think Alaska Tracy is kind of like a, I don't know what they think, but I get asked all the time what I do. So if you go to my page, my business page, Alaska Tracy, you can see I'm a business coach and consultant, and I specialize in helping people to find calmness, clarity, and prosperity using my vision mapping framework. You can also find my podcast on iTunes, Alaska Tracy. Thank you so much for joining Monday's Garden Growth from the Greenhouse. Or growth? Greenhouse growth? I still need a name for it. So I appreciate you. I appreciate every one of you. And I'm looking to grow this week. I hope you are too. Thanks. Talk to you soon. Bye.